Let's start off on a high note, being a very, very high note with Jaden Daniels, who is, in my opinion, the runaway favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year, as he has just been sensational. As you can see with his stats, he has a pretty small range as well, meaning basically every metric likes him. He has a range of 9, obviously, with his 4th ranked PFF grade compared to his 13th ranked success rate, which, if you're unfamiliar with expected points added plus completion percentage over expected or success rate, I have 2 videos that breaks them down. They are amongst the absolute best stats in football because they define how well an offense, defense, or quarterback is playing. So it's a real do-it-all stat in each regard. With that said, they're not everything, and with the other stats, he's crushing them also. So he's doing as good of a job as I think any rookie quarterback has done, going as far back as last year with CJ Stroud, who had a monster rookie year and was one of the top 3 rookie quarterbacks of all time. So that's really going back in time quite a bit, almost a whole year like that. With that said, Daniels, fantastic. One of the absolute best quarterbacks in football already. His offensive line, not bad. They are 11th in pass blocking when combining PFF's pass blocking team grade with ESPN's pass blocking win rate. So they are not a bad unit. Part of that, I think, is because Daniels is such a mobile quarterback and is so good at navigating the pocket that rushes from the defense is not going to be as potent. But even still, the line is holding up their end of the deal, and they're giving Daniels a chance. So they have a very solid pass protecting line. They also have some really good weapons with Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, being 21st in yards per game and 19th in yards per reception. He is super potent, and it's really been flashed how good he is throughout the years, even without good quarterback play. But this year, it's just really taking a whole new form, with Daniels actually being able to get the most out of McLaurin and not just, get the ball to him on the easy plays. Daniels is so good at extending plays. It gives McLaurin additional time to get open, but Daniels also executes at a very high level, allowing McLaurin to thrive within the quick game also. McLaurin is great. He can win deep. He can win short. He can do it all. Their second receiver, Noah Brown, is quite a big drop-off from McLaurin. Brown is 74th in yards per game and 38th in yards per reception. So he's notably worse in both regards. But part of that is because McLaurin is so good. And Brown, is not a bad player by any stretch. He's particularly good at scramble drills. He always seems to find the right place to be, which is a very valuable skill set to have. So that's nice. Brown is a big body. I believe he's 6'4", maybe 6'3". He is a very solid option. Another decent option they have is Zach Ertz. They're a tight end. He's 77th in yards per game and 101st in yards per reception. he's a good tight end. His career looked like it was over a couple of years ago when things went down in Philly, but he is a very competent tight end. He's not going to wow you with his speed at this point in his career, but he is a reliable pair of hands, and he can run routes at a solid level, so he's a good contributor. Austin Eckler, their running back, 97th in yards per game and 78th in yards per reception. Kind of has backwards stats. Most running backs have much higher yards per game than they do yards per reception, but Eckler is the exception to that rule. He is a very good receiving back. He has lost basically all of his speed, I must add, but he is still a good runner and good receiver. He just is not going to break off long plays like he once would. He still has the route running prowess and reliable hands, though, so he's a very solid player. Things are not great for their third wide receiver, Olamide Zaccheaus. He's 139th in yards per game and 91st in yards per reception. So he does have some prowess at winning deep, but that's about it. He's not really a reliable receiver in any other facet. Moving to their rushing game now, they are very good. They are at the absolute peak in rushing expected points added, where they're 5th, and rushing success rate, where they're also 5th. Again, not to besmirch the other players on this team, I think a lot of this has to do with Jaden Daniels. That's becoming a theme at this point. With Daniels, he is so good at running that teams have to sell out to stop him, which opens up everything else for everybody else. So there is a lot of efficiency gained through having that mobile of a quarterback, and that helps a lot, but they also have solid run blocking, and Brian Robinson is a fantastic running back. He's super physical. He gets tough yards like it's nothing. So they have a fair amount going for them in the rushing department. Defensively, this is where things kind of get rough. By kind of get rough, I mean they very much so get rough. They have a very poor defense, no matter how you slice it. 26th in defensive expected points added, and 25th in defensive success rate. That's really rough. That means they're getting beat deep. They're getting beat also with regularity. So they are really struggling defensively, which is crazy because Dan Quinn is a really solid defensive mind. I don't know exactly where I would put him. I would say he's definitely a top 10 defensive mind in football right now. But he is not blessed with a ton of talent. With that said, there are some good players. It's the NFL. You always have talent, even if you're the worst team in the league, which they're not, obviously. They have, I would say, 6 above average defensive starters. Marshawn Lattimore is one of the premier cornerbacks in football. He's aged a little bit. He's 28 and a half, I believe. But at his peak, he ran a 4.36 40-yard dash and is 6 foot tall. So he had a lot of athletic ability to lose and still be really athletic. Mike Sainer still, not quite as much of an athlete as Lattimore, but then again, kind of who is. Sainer still, though, is a very solid, technically sound cornerback. That's only going to get better because this is his rookie year. And he's also, I believe, learning the outside corner position. To my knowledge, he was a nickel in college, but maybe he's played outside. Maybe I'm ignorant. I don't know. I'd feel safe in betting that I am ignorant. But with that said, he is learning the position at a minimum due to the fact that he's only in his first year as a player in the NFL. Moving to their front seven, Dorrance Armstrong, great pass rusher, not great against the run, but if you could choose one, it's better to be good against the pass than the run, so he has that going for him. This is my favorite part of their defense by far, their linebacking core. Bobby Wagner, elite run defender, pressure getter, good in coverage. He is very versatile, still one of the best linebackers in football even as he ages. Frankie Louvu, great as a pass rusher and solid in coverage. That is a really nice pairing of linebackers. They can do a lot with them. The fact that they're both really good pass rushers is nice. It helps minimize the issue of their pass rush not being good. Jeremy Chin, their box safety, he's good in coverage in the short parts of the field. So they have a wide range of talent, and they only have one really poor defender, but it comes at a position where you really don't want to be poor at, that being cornerback with Noah Igbenogany. Noah is super athletically talented, but just has not been able to put it together. So they have a guy that can always be targeted by the offense, and that is frequently how the offenses operate. They do like to go after him. Overall, though, they have one of the better teams in the NFL. Their defense is horrendous, but they have a very high-end offense. Those are my thoughts on the Commanders. Be sure to let me know what yours are in the comment section, and also be sure to like and subscribe for more NFL content.